Hi guys. It's been about a good 2 weeks since I've posted anything. I'm a new mom, I'm tired, and it's hard. You know what's really hard is the fact that I have a 5-year-old who has to do Zoom, and I have a newborn who needs my attention. I have a 15-year-old who needs help, and I have a husband who needs food on the table, dinner and clean clothes. So it's been really hard for me to get this new lifestyle together. This video is going to be what they didn't tell you was going to happen to your body after you have a baby. I'm gonna go get my coffee real quick and I will be right back. Okay. So there's all these books out there that tell you what to expect while you're pregnant and the developing of the baby and how your body's changed and all that stuff. But what they don't tell you is what's going to happen to your body after you have the baby. So I'm going to start with saying this video is going to be so honest that it might even gross some people out, but I'm okay with that because I want to be educational for all these new mommies out there. I also want to say that being a mom is probably one of the best things that has ever happened to me, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I couldn't change it for the world. I couldn't even imagine my life without them, and I can't remember my life before I had them. So the first things first is right after you have a baby, you're obviously going to bleed a lot, and please don't get a mirror and look down there. But one thing I noticed is if you happen to get hemorrhoids, it's going to feel like your butthole is inside out. And it's going to feel like that for a good 6 weeks, for a very long time. It's going to hurt to pee if you rip. And it's going to hurt to pee if you have an epidural because they stick that catheter up your vagina, your urethra. And when you start to pee, it hurts, And this is one thing. You have to do your Kegels. Please do your Kegels. If you don't know what they are, Google them so you can learn what they are. Because sex after having a baby is not the same. You feel loose and he feels small. Eventually, it slowly goes back to almost the way it used to be, but it will never, ever be the same. It will never be the same. You can be in the doggy position and you're going to get air in there and you're going to queef. There's nothing you can do about that. Nothing at all. I never queefed in that position pre-baby, but after I had my child, that happened. Also, another thing that just popped in my head is when you fart and you're like sitting down, the fart is going to roll up to the front and it's going to go into your vagina and it will come out much later when you stand up to walk away. And that is very embarrassing, especially for me because I don't fart in front of my husband. I don't know why. I just don't. I feel like it's unladylike. I'd rather not. So maybe he'll leave the room and I'll get out a quick fart and then I'll get up and walk away a little bit later. And what happens? It's coming out and it's not coming out of my butt. So that sucks. Yeah, farts go into your vagina after having babies. It's hard because we waited for 6 weeks to have sex again after I had my last baby. And my first 2 children, it didn't hurt, but on my 3rd time around after healing, sex hurt. It didn't how do I say this correctly? It didn't hurt during the time, but afterwards, my pelvic bone and my vagina were very sore, and it actually even hurt to pee right after. And that's just something that I didn't expect to happen. Apparently, it's like 50-50. Either women will not feel any pain at all afterwards, or they will. And if you're breastfeeding, you might want to get some lube because you are going to be very dry down there. A majority of women are very dry down there because their hormones are all out of whack from breastfeeding it and whatnot. And your breasts are going to hurt. My husband loves to grab and grope, and it hurts. You know, he'll like play the drums on them because he's a boy. I mean, he's a man, but in his brain, he's always going to be a boy, and that hurts. And he doesn't quite understand. He thinks that I'm being over dramatic, or I'm saying that because I don't want him to touch them. But no, it really hurts. And it's hard. It's hard to learn how to spread your individual self between your family. You know, you've learned how to spread it between you and your husband, but now you need to equally spread it between you, your husband, and your child. And that just takes time. You know, it just takes time. What else? Your feet. If your feet swell during pregnancy, you may never go back to your old shoes again. You might as well throw those shoes out and get new ones. Yeah. And your breasts will never be the same. If you start breastfeeding, even if you don't breastfeed, your breasts become engorged and they stretch. And then you are done breastfeeding, or you choose not to breastfeed and the milk dries up, your breasts are going to be different no matter what. So your vagina changes and your breasts change. Your stomach changes, but you can snatch that back in with hard work, unless you get stretch marks. Nothing you can do about stretch marks. You know, there's all these creams out in the world to minimize stretch marks. That shit does not work. Part of my language, it does not work at all. So don't even waste your money on that. I can't think of anything at this moment that changes your body after you have a baby. If there's anybody on here who decides to watch this and you've heard some things, or some things have changed for you and your body, leave it down below so that other mommies can read it and get prepared for what's going to happen, you know? Yeah. It's, your body changes a whole lot and it will never go back to the way it used to be. This little man's waking up, means I need to go breastfeed him. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And gotta go. So talk to you guys soon. Bye.